Hey guys, welcome to Dota 2 Weekly Update, Episode 3. My name is SUNSfan. Joining me as always is Reaves, and unfortunately Cyborg Matt is not here tonight because, well, he's MIA. I'm not sure. I'm kind of worried about him, to be perfectly honest. But
It's probably dead.
it's a possibility, but we're gonna cross our fingers, hope for the best. We're changing formats here just a little bit. It's kind of gonna be like a video podcast, but we're gonna see what people think about this. And I'm not actually not 100% sure if Cyborg Matt even wants to participate in the future, but if he does, if you're hearing me, Cyborg Matt, then by all means come back. Either way, I think it would be a cool idea to just change up what we do a little bit, make it more of a discussion-related thing instead of just going down the blog, and then also have a special guest every now and then, like today. We have a special guest, and his name is reaverxai. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us who in God's name you are?
Hey, I'm a guy that likes to play Dota.
Awesome.
About it. Most people will
Me
probably
too.
most people will probably know me from moderating the Dota 2 subreddit. I do a lot of other stuff, like I've helped with Dota Academy site, the competitive stats site, and ESFI World. I do some coverage there.
Very nice. And just so you guys know, he's actually the one that gives you the custom, what are they called? The pictures, the avatars.
Flare?
Flares. So if you want one that's obscene and looks amazing, then definitely private message him. He'll hook you up for sure. Isn't that right?
Yeah, okay. Don't private message me.
That was a long yeah.
So anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to go topic by topic of things we chose beforehand and just discuss them casually and see if you guys like it or not. Give us feedback on how this is improved or worse than previous episodes, etc. So first things first, since we haven't really talked about the new heroes that were implemented, both Luna and Wisp, we'll start with Luna, implemented into the game. Looks amazing, has an amazing accent, which I am horrible at pronouncing, unfortunately, or imitating, I should say. What do you guys think overall of both the looks and what she brings to the table?
I like her a lot. I liked her in original Dota. I mean, I haven't had the chance to play her mainly because every time she's available, you play her, and I end up
Yes.
supporting you. And we have yet to lose
That's
with
right.
me and you in a lane with you being Luna. She's just really good, and early damage on her is ridiculous. You just win the lane if you have any decent side support with her, or even like we run Veno, which you guys fight me on this, but I still refuse to say he's only support. He's like soft support, but that damage early on is amazing.
Reaver, what do you think?
I think she looks pretty awesome. I like her suit. It's kind of like this space suit. It kind of reminds me of like Zero Suit Samus or something like that.
I have no idea what that is, but
I do, and
I figured you would.
disagree, but yes.
It looks like she has...
Looks like she could go into outer space with that suit on.
Yeah, maybe not so much the helmet for Zero, but everything else, yeah, it's okay. The collar's a little bit too flared. Don't make me go all fanboy Samus on you.
Yeah, I
But
don't want to do that. But the Panther is the best thing. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
I've heard some
yes.
complaints that her silhouette looks too much like Mirana, and they can't tell her apart. And like one time I was playing against her, and I really thought there was a Mirana there.
Well, I think the hilarious part is one of my friends is like, I was just playing Luna today, and I kept trying to hit E to leap away. It's like, oh, yeah, that's true. That is, you're kind of used to only seeing one Panther type character in the game, but
my biggest issue with the Panther is the teeth, to be completely honest.
What?
I know you don't see them so much when you're in game, but
buck
got like
teeth.
he's got saber tooth teeth.
What's wrong
like,
with that? That's awesome.
It's not even a panther.
It's a panther tooth.
No.
Saber panther.
Saber pantooth.
Well,
I don't
whatever it is.
I don't like it.
Either way, I have to say that from the last time I played her in the original Dota, her aura was completely different. It didn't turn it to night, which is huge because her ultimate it gets fog raped all the time. And the second thing, the aura is, as far as damage is concerned, it's not as good late game, doesn't scale, but early game it is ridiculous. Like you're
It's
talking
so
about
good.
just with Veno,
Yeah.
it's 32. What is it? 32 damage level 1? It's insane.
No, it's 14 level 1. I'm looking at
Whatever.
the patch notes history. They 3 patches ago they changed it, so it's almost double at level 1. It's 14 up from 8.
Nice. Well,
Just
either
like
way.
a free quelling blade for a range hero.
Yeah.
Well, it's so good. Like we just ran earlier the Luna Veno lane, and with Veno, if you get his just the attack poison, you push them out of the lane so easy. It was amazing.
Yep, pretty sweet. And then Wisp is the other new addition, which I never got to play in the original Dota. I know, Reaves, you know nothing of the hero. We'll start
Oh,
with.
we played one game with him where Porkchop played him and he was awful. So
I think
it was
that's
very
been,
pretty though. It was very pretty hero while he was failing and dying over and over again.
yeah. What do you think, Reaver, of this hero?
Well, I love Wisp. Like I haven't actually played Wisp at all in Dota 2 yet, but I've played with a Wisp a lot. One of my friends has not played anything but Wisp since
Ooh.
it was added.
Yes,
And
it indeed.
the playstyle is just so fun because you can constantly be ganking. And you can just choose any duo of heroes, Morphling Wisp or Ursa Wisp, or basically anything plus Wisp with a bit of burst damage, and it's just global ganking.
Yeah, I
No,
will
you
say.
just-
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Reaves.
I was just gonna say, like, I talked a little bit about him, like, because it went so terribly. I was like, "What's that hero supposed to be good at?" Like when Pork played him, and he's like, "Well, basically, like, they told me that, basically, your other support gets like a mech and oh my brain,
Arcane.
boots that give arcane. Thank you. You already know what I'm gonna say. And it like doubles the effect, I guess, when you're sharing that link."
Right.
And he doesn't really have a lot of trouble farming either because of the crazy AoE sprite thing.
Sprite thing. That's a
Yeah.
cool, yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yes. Well, he is very different, and I will say that along with Rubik, who's added, what is it, 2 weeks now? Or maybe a week, I don't know. Recently, probably the two heroes that have the most, I don't want to say utility, but they have the highest ceiling as far as if a good player is playing them, then you will know if they are good or not. It's not like somebody gets an easy, Earthshaker ult with the blink or whatever. So a lot of upside with this here, but I am awful with her. Sorry. I just always think says a vagina for some reason. But either way, it looks amazing, though. It really looks very solid. And I was actually worried about this hero coming in because in the original original Warcraft engine, it looked awful. But so did everything else.
Everything looked awful on Warcraft engine.
Well, it's the first and probably the only hero that's going to be pure particle based. So it's kind of cool that it doesn't actually have a model.
And she
Create
apparently
some-
it voiced itself. I keep saying her. It
Yeah.
voiced itself. Pretty awesome.
Wisp played by Wisp.
Indeed. All right, and then aside from that, the only other, well, I guess there's a couple other things that were added, but probably the main thing that people were I've been waiting for, especially with all the in-game defense/tournament stuff that they've been adding for Dota TV, the codec was changed to a higher. I think it's the same as what we use in Mumble. So the audio quality as far as voice communication, voice over IP, is ridiculously good, which obviously is good for pubbing, but more importantly for tournament games when you listen to somebody like Toby or Purge or whomever casting, that doesn't sound god awful, which was one of my biggest complaints. So I really obviously like this change a lot.
Now, I watched the last couple big games, actually in the actual game, like a lot of people did, like not via stream, and the voices were, they were okay, but I'm excited about it just because I like to watch it in game and kind of choose my own view and all that fun stuff.
I think the voice is like perfect now. Like, I don't think you can really complain at all about it if the casters have it all set up right. But I still can't watch in game just because every time I try, it's way too laggy. All the auto attack animations don't show up for me.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's just me, but
Yeah, I've been getting some of that too. I think it's kind of a test run still for them. I would be shocked if that's not fixed by the time the international comes around. Because
I don't remember having any issue, and my computer's awful.
well,
so
it depends.
odd.
I think it depends on how many people are watching it as well, if I'm not mistaken. But it's obviously something they're going to be working on. But either way, everything. The ground is. What am I trying? The groundwork, is that right? The groundwork is laid out. Is that right? That's not right.
framework.
Yeah, sure.
It's
Framework's
laid,
probably
the
a
framework is
better
laid
word.
out. Okay, very good.
Unless they're
And-
building a house.
Yeah, well, anyway. Aside from that, the only other thing that was really put in the game that I want to talk about is the Heropedia. Because our friend Neil, who is the founder and owner of Dotacinema, made all the videos which people seem to love, especially the Crystal Maiden Aura video. It's been a huge hit amongst the community, which I'm going to show on here
It's
right
so
now.
good. My favorite post that I read on the Reddit when that was posted was the guy was like, "You can obviously see her mana going up." Just something simple like that. But it
So-
really is. It's just a 2-second clip of her mana charging, kind of.
Yeah. Well,
Also,
there was-
like the Enigma Black Hole video
Yeah.
that you
Creeps?
guys did.
Yeah.
It's It's gonna illustrate to most people how to effectively boost your farm.
Yeah.
But that's what Valve wanted him to do, right? I mean, he was instructed. He didn't get to just go nuts on the videos.
Right,
correct?
there was a strict guideline on what you need to follow. I mean, some stuff might be changed. Like, I mean, personally, I don't understand, like, Necrolite, why he would have to... Let me play it real quick for you.
Full health hero.
He
He
put it
ults
on a
a
full
full
health.
hero.
I'm not sure why
Mana
they...
Void's a full mana hero.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, things like... It's not like he chose to do that, obviously, but I think it's hilarious nonetheless. But
The only reason I can think of for that one is they wanted to also show the mini stun. Because you wouldn't necessarily see it. Like, maybe lower his health by a lot and still have it so it doesn't instantly kill him, but you can't really see the mini stun if they're too low and it just kills the hero.
well, I think... Okay, so this is my theory, and I think a couple other people brought this up as well, and I thought this when we were originally talking to them about this. The theory behind what they're doing, or what the guidelines that they wanted, was they don't care about showing what the spell does, because first of all there's text on that, and second of all there's... I mean, if you put too much information, people are just going to get lost. Like, if you put... I would like to see my stuff, like our previews on there, but I don't think it's going to happen because it's just probably too much information. They don't want people just sitting in the game watching videos, but I think the main thing that they want is just to show the effect of the spell, so people know, oh, he just ulted me. Not, oh, why does Necro ult do nothing when they're at full health, kind of thing.
Well, yeah, now I'm thinking, if I was completely new to the game, and then I looked at that video and I saw this ultimate doing 0 damage, you'd immediately read it. You wouldn't just think, oh, that's a nuke that does this much damage. You need to now understand how you do damage with those two spells.
Yeah, that's
so
a good point.
I guess there's a good case for it.
Yeah, that's probably smart. Cause even me coming on, having played Dota and even seeing in Dota 2 some of the heroes, I'm like, what the hell did that guy just do? And so it would be helpful that it's not really helpful now because I play the game every day, but I can see why it would be helpful for a new player.
But anyway, along with the Heropedia, which, as you can see, there's filters and all that good stuff, so it's very nicely done, I think. I mean, the one complaint people have is that it's kind of slow in game, but it is browser-based, so I don't think there's a whole lot you can do about that. But the items are also added, which I'm clicking on. I'm on their website right now for people that are wondering where I'm getting this from. This is actually not in-game, and my internet apparently is failing.
The items is my
It's not
favorite.
loading for me either, so...
Okay, so people that don't know, you can go in the game and look at the items. By the time you look at this video, it'll be up. But essentially, you don't... It's nothing you can... Oh, okay, I get a... Do not display. Good. It's nothing you can click on. It's just a highlight-based thing. So it just shows information based on the item. So I think there's stuff that they could add to that in the future, such as like the build-up and what other items contain. I kind of like what they have in-game already with the shop. I don't see why they couldn't just add that, but either way, it's a good start for sure.
I'd like something like where you could like pick a hero and then pick whatever item is available for that hero and actually see it on the hero and maybe turn it at a 360-degree angle to look. I'd appreciate something like that.
All right, and moving on, let's see. We have Spell Steal visual update, which we're not going to get too far into here, but I think this is probably going to take... This is going to be a long... It's going to be like this every week, I think. Where Rubik can steal... he can steal most spells, as people know, but a lot of times they don't have any... Like, the animation is not unique. It's just... A lot of times there's no animation. So for things like Sniper Ult, there's now a proper animation. Of course, bug fixes, like Furion's TP is no longer instant, things like that. But a bunch of heroes add... I think it was like 5 or 6, so it's going to probably be a slow progression. I mean, that must be really annoying for Valve. Every time a hero comes out, they have to add effects for Rubik as well. It's kind of insane.
So for Rubik, I have yet to play him, and I've watched you play a couple times, and it seems like when you steal a spell, you don't know immediately which spell you got. Does it show up on your bar already?
Well, what happens, I think there's like a 3-second delay or something like that.
I think it's a transfer time like based on your proximity. If you're like taking it from max range, it takes a bit longer because it's like a slow-moving projectile, I guess.
Right, okay. I didn't
if
know
you're
if that
right
was
next
just a
to them,
visual
you can
thing.
grab them and instantly cast it.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's... I mean, the effects, like when you steal something from a hero, you can see like their silhouette coming inside you. It sounds very sexual, but it's just really nice effect. So yeah, that's just a quick little thing there. Now, one thing, of course, some of this stuff is still on Cyborg Matt's blog, so if you haven't been there yet, obviously go to cyborgmatt.com and check this out. But the hero portraits, a bunch of them updated. So we're going to go through each one briefly and talk about what you guys think. A lot of them aren't finished, obviously. But first we'll start with Disruptor, who is Very red. Looks sunburned almost. Reaves? Hello?
I'll jump in. My name's kind of like Reaves, but
yeah, reaverxai, go ahead.
You can't really comment on these portraits yet. They seem so.
Well, some of them are almost done. It looks like, but yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like Meepo and Naga are probably close to completion, but
yeah,
I don't think Coddle or Disruptor are any place near. Well, a couple of patches at least.
Yeah, Disruptor. It's too early to tell. I think Keeper, Gandalf, awesome. Horse looks a little bit meh, but detail will be added. Now Meepo looks very white trash. I mean, I will be thoroughly disappointed if he doesn't have a southern accent or talk like this. Tell you what, I got this straw in my mouth. I got a brown tooth. Wait, is that a brown tooth or is that a gold tooth? That would be a good question.
Maybe it's fool's gold.
It's got to be it's got to be brown. I tell you what, I got that straw in my mouth. It's like a floss. I don't know, but I don't like the way he looks. But that's because I'm biased and I hate the hero in general because I can't micro, so I'm not looking forward to him. Naga, it's been the same portrait essentially for a while now.
They're just teasing people with her at this point.
Yeah. Nyx looks amazing. Of course, we've seen this before, though, but Nyx looks freaking amazing.
I've seen the concept art for Nyx, but I really still don't have any idea how he's going to look in-game.
I can't wait, yeah. I can't wait.
I think, can you think of another hero that they changed the concept for so drastically? I mean, he was a beetle.
Rubik was an old man.
All right, Rubik was an old man, and now he's still a man. You know, he's like a wizard. But this is going from a beetle, cockroach type thing to a freaking robot.
Yeah,
you know
I think Rubik was the first where they actually changed the concept from Dota.
I mean, conceptually, Meepo's completely, completely different. I mean, the Meepo in Warcraft 3, wasn't he like sort of like a pig creature?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Meepo one's obviously different.
He's like what is he now? He's like a white trash rabbit raccoon. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say goblin, if I had to guess. He looks like a goblin to me. But.
A goblin and a white trash man had sex.
Well, depending on the lore, goblins are actually furry sometimes.
I see. That's good to know. Well, anyway, Templar Assassin and Undying is the last two portraits. Now, Templar Assassin, Cyborg Matt is saying is most likely going to be the next year, which, meh, I don't really care about him personally. Her personally, not one of my favorite heroes. But Undying, on the other hand, oh god, so good. Can't wait for him.
I want Abaddon. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. And he needs to have a horse. Although I will say the one thing that I was very frustrated with in Dota 1 was how slow he was for being on a horse. Like, he's one of the slowest heroes in the games, and he's like, well, he's on a freaking horse. I don't understand. But he's a dead horse, so it kind of does make sense. I don't know.
In his defense, all of the horses in Warcraft 3 had very short legs.
Yeah. But what about Chaos Knight? He was fast. But it wasn't a dead horse. That's the thing. He wasn't dead.
For me, I'm still holding out for the first sign of Bristleback.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
I'm actually interested to see what they're going to do with the concept on him. Like an armadillo, maybe, or just a pig.
Come on, Porcupine.
Yeah, Porcupine would be legit.
That would be amazing.
All right, moving on to the cosmetics workshop stuff. Now, this is something new that they're not in the game yet, but a lot of things that people have made through the workshop are now going to be implemented. And for people that don't understand how you do that, you go to the workshop, which is on the Dota 2 site, and you have to be able to model and things like that. But either way, you rate them, and like reaverxai was saying before we started talking, it's not based purely on rating, but Valve is it's gonna catch their attention more than likely, and they choose most likely things. I mean, there's no written thing saying exactly what they look for, but things that fit into the game in some way. So, for example, a pudge with a dress on probably wouldn't make it, although I'd love to see it. Probably wouldn't make it, but things like the bounty hunter outfit. Dragon Knight looks like he's in a leotard. I don't know about I hope it's not done. In fact, let me click on this here.
Oh, I'm wondering, like,
the Dragon Knight one is actually awesome in the store. Like the one in the game right now, the first Dragon Knight, I don't think it was good at all. But
a lot of the
looks amazing.
A lot of the first hero models that we have right now, I've always felt are a little bit pastel, and I wonder if even the colors are affecting what they're picking, because just from what we've seen, everything's kind of like not super bright, kind of dull pastel-y colors. So some of the stuff I've seen in the workshop, people are adding these like bright ambient colors that uh, you'd probably see more in like Han or LOL and stuff, and most of them get downvoted so fast. But I feel like eventually they're gonna have to open up their color pool a bit, or some of these great items that are just colored weird aren't gonna get chosen.
We'll see. I mean, in the short run, that's definitely not going to happen. But as far as changes in the future, anything's possible. But yeah, I'm looking at the one in the workshop, and you're exactly right. It's way different. It's like you can see it's chainmail as opposed to the spandex type thing that's in the game. So that's good to see that they'll probably be detailing that a little bit later. And then of course, Faceless Void, for example, his face is all messed up here, but as you can see in the workshop, it is.
Yeah, that one's quite cool. It's the like chains around his head.
Yeah.
Instead of just like reformatting his hammerhead, they're kind of like squishing him in there.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And do either of you know like what's the potential like for these like freelance modelers that are creating stuff? I heard that people have made a lot of money evidently, like in TF2, like just on a hat. And then
I know people in
it.
TF2 have made like $20,000 and stuff.
Now, what is the
50-50,
I mean,
I
what is it 50-50? Really?
I don't think it's 50-50. I think it's 30-70. I read it once. It's in their agreement.
There's no way
like,
it's 50-50.
sign up for it. Yeah, it's not 50-50.
Well,
it's
30-70 in favor of who?
Valve gets the majority.
Really? I mean, either way, you're doing stuff that you would probably do for free most of the time. You know, like having something. If I could get something in the game,
I just
that would
looked
be
it up.
amazing.
It's 25%. You receive 25% of
Really?
the gross revenue.
That's less than I thought.
Well,
it
the
would be.
thing is, though, like you see a lot of people that are you can tell when they're just trying to get something into the game versus the people that are actually really good at modeling, and they will get their stuff in the game because they're really good, not just because they're rushing out little, like, what did I see? I saw something really, I saw a bunch of really stupid things. I think people, like, just little hats or, like, a long cigarette, like a rich person would smoke in somebody's mouth, and that stuff. I hope Valve doesn't start just picking like random stupid crap. I like the really
want
nice
a cigarette that goes in your mouth.
Exactly.
$5. Enjoy.
Yeah, $18.
You also lose health per second when using, because it's a cigarette and they kill you. Isn't that right, Reaves?
Yeah, exactly. I would love. I was thinking about this, and I don't even think it's possible right now. But for people like that can model particles, to start adding like fun particles like couriers and stuff, maybe a smoking courier or random fire shooting out of their mouth or nose.
They have rare couriers. I don't know what they're called, but Neil actually is obsessed with them.
Unusuals. Like in TF2, there were unusual hats where there was random particle effects applied to them, and they were like super expensive. Like these hats sometimes sold for $300.
Oh, well, see, there you go. I would like that kind of stuff, so I wouldn't pay $300.
Well, the thing about that, though, for people that are wondering, and Neil is, of course, the founder of Dotacinema, he is obsessed with these couriers. In fact, he's traded like everything away to get a certain courier, and then he tried it out in-game, and it was awful. But finally, he's come up with a decent one. But either way, you can't buy them unless it's through another person, essentially, because they're random drops and very small chance, and then people usually sell them for in-game currency such as keys or other couriers and other things in combination. So but yeah, there's awesome stuff like your eyes glowing, like a fiery effect on some of them, and I think they were having issues recently with the colors on some of the couriers. So what they did is they put everybody that had a unusual courier, they gave a paint item to, and you can paint your courier whatever color you want one time, which is pretty awesome, I think.
That's pretty awesome. That's borderline with the particle thing that I wanted. I'd be perfectly happy just painting something like jet black, especially when they release the Snow Leopard Courier. So it'd kind of be a Panther Courier.
The one cosmetic that I'm surprised they haven't put in yet is that Plague Mask. I don't know if you guys saw for Necrolite and Death Prophet. It's kind of that like long nose thing.
Oh yeah, I did see that. It's like a what's it called? A masquerade type mask.
Yeah, but I think it's what the during the plague
what they
doctors
used to wear
would wear this to like protect themselves from the plague or something.
Stupid idiots. God, they were so dumb back then. It was rats all along, idiots. God.
Idiot.
Yeah,
But
I
anyway.
think that will be my favorite cosmetic.
Yeah, there are a
after.
lot of cool things that, I mean, hopefully they add, but I think they're probably starting slow just to see what people's reactions are.
Mhm.
It's kind
I
of like
mean,
a
the
test
worst thing for
process.
them to do would be to just like dump in a ton of stuff in
Yeah.
the workshop and have it all be horrible.
Yeah, indeed.
But on the other end, the cool thing about it's really hard to make a mistake because even the really stupid stuff they put it in, somebody's gonna buy it. There's no way by just implementing a weird item that they're going to lose money
Well,
necessarily.
they're not worried about losing money. They're worried about the game feeling cheap, turning into
Yes.
like a Han or a LOL or whatever, where things just like you don't want a new player coming in and being confused with what in God's name Omni Knight's holding if it's like a penis or something. I mean, this one that I'm
Yeah.
looking at now is a hammer. I mean, that's perfectly fine. You're like, why is he holding a penis? That doesn't make any sense.
Speaking of that, I am amazed at how many modelers have released lightsaber weapons for different heroes. Like, just stop, people. It's not going to get put in. Just
I
stop.
haven't even seen any of those. That's awesome.
Oh, there's so many.
I would love to see that. I mean, Juggernaut basically already has a lightsaber, but
The shiny one, yeah.
I do like that the community is basically voting mostly for these ones that do actually fit into the theme
Yeah.
of the game. 'Cause
not
the
that it
front few
technically matters,
pages of-
but yeah.
Yeah, front few pages of the workshop look like all things that could have been part of the model to begin with.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my god, I'm actually looking at, not to get off on a tangent, Ogre Magi, where he's, that looks
Viking set.
amazing. The Viking set, I doubt they put this in, but that looks amazing.
I don't even think that's too far of a
You think so?
stretch for
Really?
them to go.
Well, that's one of those I feel the colors. I feel like they clash and
Yeah, if he got rid of the green and just made him just get rid of the clothing and just have the Viking hat and the Viking beards, I think they'd accept it. That would be amazing. Oh, that's so good. Anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent here. We're gonna wrap up here soon. The last thing we're gonna do is go over the competitive scene news of the week, which there isn't too much, and I wanted to keep it short just so we could wrap up in a timely manner and you guys give us feedback on what you want added perhaps for next episode. But the one thing that I looked at and was very sad to see is Fnatic RC lost Nova. Nova has left the team. And for people that don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information on this team, since people call me a Han player, even though I played Dota for 4 years prior to Han, but whatever you want to call me. I did cast for Han for a couple years with Reaves.
Oh, I didn't realize I was in a call with Han players.
That's right, bro. That's
it was
right.
just because Dota 2 wasn't out yet, bro.
Yeah, that's true. When Dota 2
I
came
played,
out,
I played
boom.
Han too.
What
Oh,
were we
did
gonna
you?
do? Go to LOL?
Yeah,
Lol.
seriously. Anyway, so Nova was their support player, and he was the one that couldn't spend as much time working with the team to become good at Dota 2, so he just left on his own accord. But for people that don't know the history of this team, they are the best Han team ever. Like, not even close. They win DreamHack. In fact, they just won DreamHack again, even though they mostly play Dota 2, which is just ridiculous, I think. But they are...
And
I think it translates directly to, because I fully expect once they get a fifth, which we're going to talk about in a second, within 6 months, I think they're top 10 easily. I have no problem putting my predictions out there. Easily going to be top 10 team in the world.
yeah, no, we can't necessarily speculate what Nova's gonna do now. But if he wanted to come back to the scene, just from the couple of times I've spoken with him, and when we met him at what was it, NASL?
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. He is one of those people that cares about the games he plays more than just like, oh, I'm good at this, I guess I'll join a team and maybe bash some faces. He seems to really care. So if he ever comes back, I'm sure he won't have issue finding a team.
Hearing that, I don't think it was all too surprising that he left Fnatic, because if you watched any of their games in Dota 2,
Yeah.
it was clear he wasn't at the level of the others.
Yep, that is true. It's unfortunate, but now the weird thing is, again, going back through history here, their lineup is going to look so weird now because apparently they've been playing with Trixie, who is their old carry, and he's going to most likely be their new fifth. But the question is, who's going to support? They have Fly, which is their support player. Then they have a bunch of ridiculous players. Not that Fly's terrible; he's like their captain, picking and whatnot. But you have No Tail, famous for being amazing at soloing. You have Trixie, of course, being famous for carrying, at least in Han. Era, arguably the best carry in Han's history, and amazing at Dota 2. And who am I missing?
Hani?
Yes, Hani, who of course don't need any introduction. Old Dota player, still really good. So I feel like they don't have any support players other than Fly now, which is kind of weird, but should be interesting to see what happens. For sure.
I
I
Fly
don't
can-
think
He'll support the whole team. It'll be fine.
I don't think Trixie's gonna take up this role. Like, I think he left Mouse originally because he got really busy, like with real life stuff.
Well, that's what
Can't
they
see him.
say. You know.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, we'll
Dropping
see.
the
You
fin stack.
Yeah, you could be right. I mean, I don't. As far as lineups are concerned, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But hey, who am I to say?
I think they have a lot of other options that are really good at playing that fourth or secondary support role that they could transition into their team, and people that would like to be with Fnatic because obviously good sponsor and good players. They're gonna definitely make a splash in Dota 2.
One could also argue too that a collection of people that have that much knowledge of the game, even if they're more comfortable in another role, they'll be okay. Like, it's not like they're taking somebody that is really good at carries but never plays supports and really understands only the carry metagame. Like, all of those players that have been brought onto Fnatic at this point have a really firm grasp of all the roles. So even if they're not amazing with that hero, it shouldn't take them long to get good enough to fill those roles. So I'm not really worried.
Yeah, they were very flexible back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is actually the end of the Dota 2 Weekly Update, Episode 3. My name is SUNSfan. Joining me was Reaves and reaverxai. God, it's so hard. Reaves and reaverxai.
You got to change your name, dude.
I don't know. I think it's pretty clear who had the name first.
Yeah, that's true.
Me?
Yeah, you go on thinking that.
I will.
Anyway, any shout-outs you want to give out, Reaver?
No. I don't
Shout out to
think so.
Reddit. Shout out to Reddit.
Screw Reddit.
Oh.
Full of flamers.
All right, we're going to vote on Reddit of who has to change their name now that you've said that. And,
Yes, indeed. Anyway, let us know what you guys think of this new change. Anything, any feedback, any additions, any subtractions, anything at all. We read all the comments, so just let us know. And until next time, we love you long time. That was racist, sorry. I'm not racist, I swear.